नमस्कार। मेटलिफेरस माइंस रेगुलेशन एमएमआर की वीडियो सीरीज की आज फोर्थ चैप्टर लेकर के मैं रथिन विश्वास ह्यूमन रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट सेंटर किरगुर के ओर से आप सबको वेलकम करता हूं। ऑलरेडी हमने इसमें 3 वीडियो में चैप्टर 1 जिसमें प्रिलिमिनरी रेगुलेशन 1 एंड 2, चैप्टर 2 रिटर्न नोटिस एंड रिकॉर्ड्स रेगुलेशन 3 to 10, examination and certificates of competency and of fitness regulation 11 to 31 हमने देख ली। आज हमने इसका फोर्थ चैप्टर जिसमें इंस्पेक्शन एंड माइन ऑफिशियल्स के बारे में रेगुलेशन 32 टू 40 के बारे में जानेंगे इस वीडियो में। इन चैप्टर में रेगुलेशन 32 जिसमें क्वालिफिकेशंस ऑफ इंस्पेक्टर, 33 में 2 डेफिनेशंस है, 34 qualification and appointment of manager, 35 appointment of assistant manager or underground manager, 36 appointment of engineer, 37 appointment and qualification of senior officials, 38 appointment of surveyors, 39 appointment of official and competent persons and 40 general management। इस रेगुलेशन के बारे में जानेंगे। 32 qualification of inspectors। After coming into force this regulation, no new person shall be appointed as chief inspector unless he hold a degree or diploma in mining engineering of an educational institute approved by central government and also a first class manager certificate granted under these regulations। ये रेगुलेशन आने के बाद कोई भी नया चीफ इंस्पेक्टर नहीं बनेंगे जिन्होंने माइनिंग में डिग्री या डिप्लोमा नहीं किए हैं या फर्स्ट क्लास सर्टिफिकेट इस रेगुलेशन के अंडर में नहीं है। After coming into this regulation, no person shall be appointed as inspector unless he hold a degree or diploma in mining engineering of an educational institution approved by central government and also a first class manager certificate granted under these regulations, provided that in relation to electrical machinery installed in mines, a person holding degree or diploma in electrical engineering of an educational institute approved by central government may be so appointed. In relation to other machinery or mechanical appliances installed in mines, a person holding degree or diploma in mechanical engineering of an educational institute approved by the central government may so appoint, and in relation to the provision of act and of regulation and of order made thereunder, which relate to matter concerning the health and welfare of persons, a person holding a degree or diploma in medicine, surgery, and or social science or labor welfare, as case may be, of an educational institute approved by central government, or a person holding such other qualification as central government may approve in this behalf, may be so appointed। ये रेगुलेशन आने के बाद कोई भी आदमी जिनको माइनिंग का डिग्री या डिप्लोमा नहीं है और फर्स्ट क्लास मैनेजरशिप सर्टिफिकेट नहीं है वो इंस्पेक्टर नहीं बन सकते हैं, प्रोवाइडेड इलेक्ट्रिकल के लिए इलेक्ट्रिकल में डिग्री या डिप्लोमा होल्डर इलेक्ट्रिकल इंस्पेक्टर बन सकते हैं। अदर मशीनरी मैकेनिकल के लिए डिग्री और डिप्लोमा मैकेनिकल का जो है उन्होंने मैकेनिकल के लिए इंस्पेक्टर बन सकते हैं और वेलफेयर एम्यूनिटीज के लिए पर्सन्स जिनको मेडिसिन, सर्जरी, सोशल साइंस या लेबर वेलफेयर में क्वालिफिकेशन है वो इंस्पेक्टर बन सकते हैं। और अदर क्वालिफिकेशन जो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट अप्रूव करते हैं, वो इस क्वालिफिकेशन के में एक इंस्पेक्टर वेलफेयर के लिए बन सकते हैं। दो डेफिनेशन यहाँ पे हैं। All excavation within the mine boundary and all premises, plant, machinery, and work as specified in Clause J of subsection 1 of Section 2 of the Act shall be collectively constitute the mine. माइंस के अंदर जो माइन बाउंड्री के अंदर जितना प्लांट, मशीनरी एंड अदर वर्क्स है, सब कलेक्टिवली माइंस बोला जाएगा। एंड सेकेंड इज एवरेज एम्प्लॉयमेंट। The expression average employment of any mine means average per day during the preceding quarter of the total employment in all excavation and specified auxiliary facilities within the specified boundaries obtained by dividing the number of man days worked by the number of working days excluding rest days and other non-working days. Total man days work जो number of days actual worked, that is excluding rest day and non-working days, उसको exclude करने के बाद total Mondays को divide करने से जो आएगा वही एवरेज एम्प्लॉयमेंट या ऑर्डिनरी एम्प्लॉयमेंट कहलाएगा। क्वालिफिकेशन एंड अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ मैनेजर्स। No mine shall be opened, worked, or reopened unless there is a manager of the mine, being a person duly appointed and having such qualification as are required by these regulations. कोई भी माइंस जहाँ ओपन नहीं कर सकते हैं या काम नहीं कर सकते या रीओपन नहीं कर सकते जहाँ पे एक मैनेजर अपॉइंट ना हो, और मैनेजर के लिए क्वालिफिकेशन चाहिए जो रेगुलेशन में है। No person shall act or be employed as a manager unless he is 23 years of age and is paid by and is directly answerable to the owner or agent of the mine. माइंस मैनेजर का मिनिमम 23 ईयर्स एज होना चाहिए और ये पेड एंड डायरेक्टली answerable टू ओनर एंड एजेंट है, except as hereafter provided in subregulation 6 and subject to provision of subregulation 3, no person shall act or continue to act or be appointed as manager of a mine or mines, the average employment of which corresponds to figures given in column 1 of the table below unless he hold corresponding qualifications given in column 2 thereof. सब रेगुलेशन 6 एंड सब रेगुलेशन 3 की प्रोविजन छोड़ करके सभी माइंस की ई कॉलम ऑन का दिया हुआ जो कंडीशंस है उसके कॉलम 2 का दिया हुआ क्वालिफिकेशन होना चाहिए। इन केस ऑफ 150 in excess of 150 in workings below ground or of 400 in all mines, इस केस में फर्स्ट क्लास मैनेजर सर्टिफिकेट होना चाहिए। In case of 75 but not exceeding 150 in working below ground or exceeding 150 but not exceeding 400 in all mine, first class or second class manager certificate. In other case, first class or second class manager certificate or a manager permit granted under sub regulation 5, provided that no person shall act or continue to act or be appointed as manager of a mine or mines where work being carried by a system of deep hole blasting and or with help of heavy machinery for digging, excavation and removal etc. of earth, stone, mineral or other material unless he hold first class manager certificate. अगर 150% से कम हो और वहाँ पे डीप होल ब्लास्ट हो रहा है, हैवी अर्थ मूविंग मशीनरी है डिगिंग एक्सकवेशन के लिए, उस केस में मैनेजर जो है ओनली फर्स्ट क्लास सर्टिफिकेट होल्डर ही होना है। Provided further that where a special condition exists, Chief Inspector may, by an order in writing, direct that in case of any such mine as is referred in clause B of table, the manager thereof shall be holder of first class manager certificate, and there is cause of any such mine is referred in clause C of table, the manager thereof shall be holder of first or second class manager certificate. चीफ इंस्पेक्टर इसमें जहाँ फर्स्ट और सेकंड क्लास मैनेजर लिखा हुआ है टेबल में, उसको केवल फर्स्ट क्लास मैनेजर सर्टिफिकेट होल्डर को, और जहाँ परमिट मैनेजर का लिखा हुआ है वो केवल फर्स्ट और सेकंड क्लास मैनेजर की ऑर्डर दे सकते हैं। Provided further that if any mine undertaking consists of two or more separate mines, and if in opinion of chief inspector they are not sufficiently near to one another to permit of daily personal supervision being exercised by one manager, he may, by an order in writing, require to appointment a separate manager of such mines. टू और मोर माइंस एक साथ होने से चीफ इंस्पेक्टर उसको सेपरेट मैनेजर अपॉइंट करने के लिए भी परमिशन बोल सकते हैं, ऑर्डर दे सकते हैं। Where under provision of subregulation 2, a person holding first or second class manager certificate has been appointed as manager, a person holding lower qualification shall not, except with the previous permission in writing of chief inspector and subject to such condition as he may specify therein, be so appointed during succeeding 12 months, notwithstanding any reduction in average output of the mine. कोई माइंस में जहाँ फर्स्ट और सेकंड क्लास मैनेजर सर्टिफिकेट होल्डर एज मैनेजर अपॉइंट है, वहाँ पे प्रेयर परमिशन चीफ इंस्पेक्टर का परमिशन बिना लोअर क्वालिफिकेशन किसी को 12 मंथ्स के अंदर नहीं अपॉइंट किया जा सकता है अगर आउटपुट माइंस की कम ना हो तो। नो पर्सन shall act or be appointed as manager more than one mine except with the previous permission in writing of the chief inspector and subject to such condition as he may specify therein. No such permission shall be effective for a period of exceeding 12 months unless renewed. कोई भी एक व्यक्ति 2 माइंस का मैनेजर नहीं हो सकता है अगर चीफ इंस्पेक्टर परमिशन नहीं देते तो अगर ये परमिशन देते भी है तो 12 मंथ्स के लिए ही वैलिड रहता है। The chief inspector may at any time by order in writing vary or revoke any such permission in circumstances under which permission was granted, have altered, or chief inspector find that the manager has not been able to exercise effective supervision in the mine under his charge, और चीफ इंस्पेक्टर इसको रिवोक भी कर सकते हैं इस कंडीशन को देखते हुए। The chief inspector may, after holding such examination as he may deem necessary and subject to such condition as he may specify therein, grant to any person holding a foreman certificate a permit. In this regulation refer as manager permit. Authorize such person to act a manager of any specified mines, the average employment of which does not exceed 75 in working below ground or 150 in all mines. चीफ इंस्पेक्टर एग्जामिनेशन के बाद परफॉर्मेंस सर्टिफिकेट होल्डर किसी को मैनेजर्स परमिट दे सकते हैं और वो मैनेजर के हिसाब से काम कर सकते हैं, जहाँ पे बिलो ग्राउंड में 75 से कम लोग काम करें या अबव ग्राउंड में 150 के कम आदमी काम करें। A manager permit shall be valid only for such period not exceeding 12 months as be specified therein. मैनेजर परमिट उस पीरियड के लिए वैलिड होगा जिसमें वो लिखा हुआ है परमिट में, या मैक्सिमम 12 मंथ्स के लिए। Chief Inspector may renew any manager permit for further period not exceeding 12 months at a time, और चीफ इंस्पेक्टर इसको 12 मंथ्स के लिए फर्दर वैलिड कर सकते हैं। A fee of ₹10 shall be payable in respect of every application of grant of manager's permit. No fee shall be charged for renewal thereof. और ये रिन्यूअल मैनेजर परमिट एप्लीकेशंस के लिए 10 रुपये का फीस होगा और रिन्यूअल के लिए कोई फीस नहीं होगा। The chief inspector may, by order in writing, after giving the holder of such permit an opportunity to make his representation, cancel a manager permit. चीफ इंस्पेक्टर मैनेजर परमिट को कैंसिल भी कर सकते हैं एक अपॉर्चुनिटी देने के बाद। चीफ इंस्पेक्टर में बाय एन ऑर्डर इन राइटिंग subject to such condition as he may specify therein, authorize any person whom he consider competent being appointed to act as manager of any mine or mines for a specified period, notwithstanding that such person does not possess the qualification prescribed in the behalf by sub-regulation 2 and may be a like order revoke any such authority at a time. चीफ इंस्पेक्टर किसी को कॉम्पिटेंट सोचने से उनको अपॉइंटमेंट के लिए ऑथराइज कर सकते हैं और इसको रिवोक भी कर सकते हैं। Whereby reason of absence or for any other reason, manager is unable to exercise daily personal supervision or unable to perform his duty under the Act or these regulations or orders made thereunder, the owner, agent, or manager shall authorize in writing a person whom he consider competent to act as manager of the mine. मैनेजर के एब्सेंस में जब मैनेजर अपना डेली सुपरविजन नहीं कर सकते हैं तो ओनर, एजेंट और मैनेजर किसी और को ऑथराइज कर सकते हैं एज मैनेजर, provided that such persons hold a manager or foreman certificate. जिनको मैनेजर परमिट देंगे, मैनेजर ऑथराइज करेंगे, वो मैनेजर या फोरमैन सर्टिफिकेट होल्डर होना चाहिए। No such authorization shall have effect for a period in excess of 30 days except with the previous consent in writing of chief inspector and subject to such condition as he may specify therein, nor without a like consent shall a second authorization be made to take effect upon the expiry of first. The chief inspector shall not permit any such authorization to extend over a period of 60 days unless the persons hold such qualification specified in sub-regulation 2. मैनेजर का जो ऑथराइजेशन है ये 30 दिन तक वैलिड है और इसको सेकंड ऑथराइजेशन नहीं दे सकते हैं। चीफ इंस्पेक्टर के परमिशन बिना चीफ इंस्पेक्टर मैक्सिमम 60 डेज तक का परमिशन दे सकते हैं। द ओनर, एजेंट ऑफ मैनेजर, हाँ, अगर अनलेस जिनको ऑथराइज किया जा रहा है उनको सिमिलर क्वालिफिकेशन एज पर सब रेगुलेशन 2 ऑफ रेगुलेशन 34 उनका क्वालिफिकेशन है तो the owner, agent, or manager, as case may be, shall forthwith send by registry post to chief inspector and inspector in writing notice intimating that such an authorization has been made and stating the reasons for authorization, the qualification and experience of person authorized, and the date of commencement and ending of authorization. And Chief Inspector or Regional Inspector may, except in the case of persons processing the qualification specified in subregulation 2 or an order in writing, revoke any authority so granted. ये जो ऑथराइजेशन है इसको चीफ इंस्पेक्टर और रीजनल इंस्पेक्टर के पास रजिस्ट्रेड पोस्ट से जाना है और पर्सन्स अगर रिक्वायर क्वालिफिकेशन नहीं होता है तो चीफ इंस्पेक्टर और रीजनल इंस्पेक्टर इस अथॉरिटी को रिवोक भी कर सकते हैं. The person so authorized shall, during the period of such authorization, have the same responsibility, discharge the same duty, and be subject to same liability as the manager. Authorized person, authorized period के लिए same responsibility, same liability and same duty जिसको मैनेजर का है वही करना है. No manager shall vacate his office without giving due notice in writing to the owner or agent at least 30 days before the date of which he wished to vacate the office. मैनेजर ऑफिस वैकेंट करने से पहले ओनर एजेंट को एटलीस्ट 30 डेज की नोटिस देना है. Provided that the owner or agent may permit the manager to vacate his office after giving a shorter notice. ओनर एजेंट शॉर्टर नोटिस में भी मैनेजर को परमिशन दे सकते हैं वैकेंट करने के लिए. No owner or agent shall transfer, discharge or dismiss a manager unless the manager has a relieved by duly qualified persons as prescribed under subregulation 2. ओनर एजेंट मैनेजर को ट्रांसफर डिस्चार्ज डिसमिस नहीं कर सकते हैं अनलेस अनटिल सिमिलर क्वालिफिकेशंस की प्रिस्क्राइब्ड क्वालिफिकेशन की कोई लीवर ना आए. Nothing in subregulation 7 shall be conferred on owner, agent, or manager the right to authorize during any period of such notice any persons not duly qualified to manager of the mine under subregulation 2 to act as manager except in case of illness or other causes over which the manager has no control or except the previous written permission of the chief inspector and subject to such condition as he may specify therein. अगर कोई persons duly qualified नहीं है, जिनको ड्यूली क्वालिफिकेशन नहीं है, उनको ऑथराइज कर सकते हैं केवल मैनेजर का इलनेस और अदर कॉज में जिसमें मैनेजर की कोई कंट्रोल नहीं है एक्सेप्ट प्रायर रिटर्न परमिशन ना हो. A copy of each every such notice and authorization shall be forthwith be sent to Chief Inspector and Regional Inspector by registered post. इस authorization और इसका नोटिस की कॉपी जो है चीफ इंस्पेक्टर एंड रीजनल इंस्पेक्टर के पास रजिस्टर्ड पोस्ट में जाना चाहिए. The owner agent shall provide suitable residential accommodation for the manager and under manager or assistant manager within a distance of 3 miles from all mine opening, and every manager, under manager or assistant manager shall reside in the accommodation so provided that where special difficulties exist which render compliance with this provision not reasonable practicable, the chief inspector may, by an order in writing and subject to such condition as he may specify therein, grant exemption from the same. Owner or agent, manager, underground manager and assistant manager को माइन से 3 माइल के दूर के अंदर एकोमोडेशन देंगे और इन लोगों को उस एकोमोडेशन में रहना है. अगर कोई स्पेशल डिफिकल्टीज आता है तो उसके लिए चीफ इंस्पेक्टर से स्पेसिफिक परमिशंस लेना होगा. नो मैनेजर शैल entrust by the owner or agent with any work, nor shall he himself perform any work which will necessitate his frequent or prolonged absence from the mine. मैनेजर को कोई भी दूसरा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं दिया जाएगा या मैनेजर दूसरा काम नहीं करेगा जिसमें उनको प्रोलॉन्ग एब्सेंस होना है या फ्रीक्वेंट एब्सेंस होना है. If any doubt arises as any matter refers to the foregoing clauses of subregulation, it shall be referred to chief inspector for decision. कोई डाउट अराइज होने से चीफ इंस्पेक्टर्स के पास रेफर करना है. नो मैनेजर शैल एक्ट एज एजेंट और अंडर मैनेजर और असिस्टेंट मैनेजर इन एनी अदर सुपरवाइजरी कैपेसिटी इन अनदर माइन. कोई मैनेजर दूसरा माइंस की एजेंट अंडर मैनेजर असिस्टेंट मैनेजर और एनी अदर सुपरवाइजरी कैपेसिटी में काम नहीं कर सकते हैं. अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ असिस्टेंट मैनेजर और अंडरग्राउंड मैनेजर. In every mine, the average employment of which exceed 450 in walking below ground or 1,200 in all mine, the manager shall assisted by assistant managers and or underground managers on the following scale. Upon 600 walking below ground or 1,600 in all mine, 1 additional assistant manager. In case of 600 walking below ground or 1,600 in all mine, on additional assistant manager and or underground manager for every additional 500 persons employed below ground or 800 in all mine or part thereof for period of 5 years from the commencement of these regulations. Thereafter, every 300 additional persons employed below ground or 800 all mine or part thereof. Provided that in a mine where the average employment exceeds 1200 in walking below ground or 3200 in all mine, at least one assistant manager or underground manager as aforesaid shall hold a first class manager certificate. Provided further, Chief Inspector may, by order in writing, subject to such condition as he may specify therein, permit or require appointment of assistant or underground manager in variation with these provisions. For this purpose of this regulation, except expression assistant manager or underground manager shall include persons of as safety officer who hold equivalent qualification. Appointment of engineer. At every mine where machinery is used, an engineer or other competent person not less than 23 years of age shall be appointed to hold general charge of such machinery and be responsible for its installation, maintenance, and safe working. Provided that nothing in this sub-regulation shall be deemed to prohibit the employment of two or more engineers or competent persons at one mine as long as jurisdiction and sphere of responsibility of each such engineer or competent person is defined by the manager in the letter of appointment. Provided further that after such date as central government may notify in the behalf official gazette no person unless he hold a degree or diploma in mechanical engineering or equivalent qualification appointed for the purpose by central government shall, except with previous permission in writing of Chief Inspector and subject to such condition as he may specify therein, be appointed in opencast walking by heavy earth moving machinery in which the aggregate P is of all machinery used 750 or any other mine whose aggregate SP of all machinery use exceed 250 shall continue to act as engineer or competent persons as a notice of its appointment giving the name and full particulars of the qualification and experience of the persons so appointed shall be sent to regional inspector within 7 days of such appointment. No person shall undertake the duties of engineer for more than one mine without previous permission in writing of regional inspector and subject to such condition as he may specify therein. Regional inspector may at any time by order in writing vary or revoke such permission. Where by reason of temporary absence of any cause the engineer or competent persons appointed under subject regulation 1 is unable to perform his duty, the manager shall authorize in writing a person whom he considers competent to act in his place, provided that notice of each such authorization shall be sent to regional inspector forthwith. No such authorization shall have effect for a period exceeding 30 days, except the previous written consent of regional inspector and subject to such condition as he may specify therein. The regional inspector may, by an order in writing, revoke any authority so granted. Appointment of and qualification of senior official. At every mine, one or more overmen shall appoint to hold charge of different district of the mine up on its working shift. The mine or district assigned to foreman shall not be such size, nor shall any additional duty other than his duty under this regulation such like to prevent him from carry out in a throughout manner the duties prescribed for him under this regulation and in case of doubt arise as to the foregoing duties it shall be referred to the chief inspector for decision. Every person employed under sub-regulation 1A as official subordinate to manager or an assistant manager or underground manager and superior to mining mate shall hold either manager certificate or foreman certificate. Next, appointment of surveyor. Every mine having working below ground and as such other mines or classes of mines as may be notified from time to time by central government, a person not exceeding 23 years of age holding surveyor certificate shall be appointed to be surveyor for carrying out surveys and leveling for preparing the plan and section required under act or regulation or order made thereunder, provided that nothing in this subregulation shall be deemed to prohibit employment of two or more surveyor at one mine so long as the jurisdiction and sphere of responsibility of each of the surveyor is defined by the manager in his letter of appointment. Notice of each such appointment giving The name and full particulars of the qualification a person so appointed shall be sent to regional inspector within 7 days of such appointment. No person shall appoint a surveyor of more than one mine in any other capacity in the same mine without previous permission in writing of chief regional inspector and subject to such condition as may be specified therein. Regional inspector may, by an order, revoke such permission if the circumstances under which it was granted have alternate or regional inspector find out the surveyor has not been able to carry out satisfactorily the work allowed to him. Appointment of official and competent person. The owner, agent, or manager shall appoint such number of competent persons, including official and technician, as it is sufficient to source during each of the working shift. Adequate inspection of the mine and equipment thereof through supervision in all operation of the mine, the installation, running and maintenance in safe working order of all machinery in the mine and the enforcement of requirement the act and this regulation and orders made thereunder, provided that if the regional inspector find that those appointments are inadequate, he may require the appointment of such number of additional competent persons by the owner, agent, or manager as he considered necessary, without prejudice to requirement of clause A, where the mine is worked on more than one shift. The owner, agent, or manager shall arrange that during afternoon shift and night shift, the mine is under general supervision or underground manager or assistant manager if any, and of an experienced mine foreman in other case. It shall be the responsibility of the manager to see that the persons so appointed are competent to perform the duties assigned to them. No person shall be so appointed unless he is paid by owner or agent and is answerable to manager. Copies of such appointment made under such regulation on shall be entered in bound page book kept for this purpose. A list of such competent persons shall also be maintained without prejudice to the requirement of sub regulation 2. Every manager on taking over charge of mine shall satisfy himself that all persons already appointed under sub regulation on are competent to perform the duties assigned to them, and if he finds them competent, he shall either countersign the authorization or issue fresh one. General management. The owner, agent, or manager shall provide for the safety and proper discipline of persons employed in mine, except in case of emergency. No person who has not an official or competent person shall give otherwise that though the manager instructs to a persons employed in mine who is responsible to manager. अभी हम दो क्वेश्चन देख लेते हैं. मैनेजर ऑफ द माइन इज अपॉइंट हैविंग प्रिस्क्राइब्ड क्वालिफिकेशन अंडर सेक्शन 17 regulation 34 under regulation 8A both option 1 and 2 and both option 2 and 3. The correct answer is both option 1 and 2 under sub under section 17 or regulation 34. Number of mandates in the year 2014 or 2 lakhs 26,500. Rest day or 54 and non-working days 46. Find the number of persons ordinarily employed in mine. Total number in the year was 365. 130, 90, 110, 120, 100. 100. Because as per regulation 33, the definition is obtained by dividing the number of man days इस कंडीशन में टोटल मैन पावर 26500 divided by number of working days 365 minus 54 minus 46 is equal to 265 divided by 265 26500 divided by 265 is equal to 100. थैंक यू ने इस वीडियो को देखा और हम लोग जल्दी बाकी चैप्टर्स का वीडियो भी लेके आ जाएंगे। थैंक यू।